What is up? Welcome to the episode. Today we are going to be chatting about the concept of YOLO. You only live once, as far as we know at least. And one perspective of YOLO gets a lot of airplay, but the other one not so much. And once I share the other perspective with you, you're going to be like, oh yeah, of course. Now the first perspective everyone is well aware of, and that is when you're deciding whether to do something or not, like have a piece of cake, maybe another alcoholic bevy, or an additional slice of pizza. We tend to justify these decisions by saying, oh, why not? You only live once, right? Now, other folks say it to us as well, and you probably hear it more than most people simply because your health is such a huge priority for you. This whole YOLO thing is fascinating because someone could also use the exact same statement to justify not having a piece of cake, another drink, or a slice. Because they could say, YOLO, I only live once, and therefore I want to feel, look, and perform my absolute best. Thriving is a priority, and I want to make the most of my one life experience. And this individual would be approaching YOLO from a sense of well-being standpoint, as opposed to a, if I don't indulge, I'm somehow missing out angle. So YOLO totally depends on what you view as making the most of your life. And it does tend to shift and change as you grow. For example, I have used the traditional perspective of YOLO to justify having another drink more times than I can count, more times than I remember, to be honest. And now that I'm sober, I actually use it in the exact opposite way, meaning to justify skipping a drink because I'm getting so much more out of my day-to-day life sans alcohol. It's a complete perspective shifter, right? Now, to be fair, sometimes we do use this latter definition of YOLO in terms of doing things like traveling or trying new experiences, but it seems as though in regards to food, alcohol, and drugs specifically, we do tend to restrict the definition to the one that justifies partaking versus abstaining. Now, I'm not saying that this is a one or the other thing. The idea isn't that you always use one of these perspectives of YOLO. My proposal is just that you keep both in mind. Reason being is, when you use the traditional definition of YOLO to justify indulging quite frequently, you're probably not going to be all that stoked about how you're looking, feeling, or performing. Now, on the other hand, you probably don't want to use the second YOLO perspective 24/7 either, because you're likely going to be living like a bit of a nun. So there are two questions to ponder. Are you fully satisfied with how you're looking, feeling, and performing? And if the answer is yes, do not change a thing. However, if the answer is no, you might want to look into how you're applying this YOLO concept, because you could have a ton of untapped potential at your disposal. Speaking from personal experience, I didn't know what I didn't know in regards to the role that alcohol was playing in my life, because I'd never even really experienced my adult life without it. And so I couldn't expect myself to know, right? The same thing applies to nutrition. If you've never really given yourself the opportunity to feel, look, and perform your absolute best due to your lifestyle choices, you don't know just how great you can feel. You don't know what it's like to live in a lean, healthy body that you love. You don't know what it's like to live without bloating and digestion problems. You don't know what it's like to wake up feeling rested, alert, and excited as your default state versus only experiencing it sporadically. You may not have experienced what it's like to feel fully comfortable in your own skin when you're at the beach or super confident going about your day-to-day life. Also, the thing about the traditional YOLO perspective is that it so often leads to disappointment and guilt. Because, for example, you head into the weekend with amazing intentions of eating healthfully. You think, I'm going to go for a bunch of hikes, I'm going to hit the hay early, And then things get a little bit out of hand, and then one meal out and a drink turns into 4 to 5 drinks and a late night pizza order. The following day, you're just sort of surviving on the couch, and then all of a sudden, it's Monday and you're like, what the fuck just happened? Hence the disappointment and guilt. And the unfortunate thing about guilt is that eventually, if action isn't taken, guilt turns into regret. And I would not wish regret on anyone. Disappointment and guilt are bad enough as it is. Regret is just a whole nother level. The best way I could describe it is just a feeling of sort of looming heaviness. It's sort of like walking around with a heavy backpack on all the time or a dark cloud over your head. I actually remember when I was really down in the dumps before I moved out of my family home, my mom would say that it was almost like a dark cloud followed me around the house because I was just in a lot of pain and it's tough. This lifestyle change stuff is hard. I get it. But what I can say is that persevering through the pain is so worth it because what's on the other side of that pain is absolutely incredible. It is so much better than staying stuck. So I'm going to toss out a little challenge here. Go discover one thing that you don't know about your body. It could be nutrition, exercise, sleep, mindset. There is so much to discover. I'm still learning about my body every single day, and I've been doing this professionally for 10 years. It's been a decade, and there's still so much more to discover. So take action today because action ends suffering. If you're interested in applying for one-on-one nutritional coaching and or workout design with me, you can click the link in the description below or head on over to n1fitness.com/coaching. On Instagram, I'm at N1Fitness. On TikTok, I'm at the N1Fitness. And on YouTube, I'm at Marcus Sadu. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review on your favorite podcast platform. And finally, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope that you found this episode useful, and I will catch you on the next one. See ya!